after the game barbecue at Buzz and Ned's, but you must attend the game to attend the barbecue.
Howdy.
So what brotherly advice did you get today?
Brotherly advice. Not much. He just came in to watch how we're doing things. He's still an avid football fan, obviously. He likes to stay up to date on what's going on around the league. And obviously his sons are close to my sons, so it's good to get together with him.
You'll get this question because he was here today, but is there any moment when you're coaching and then you look over on the sideline, you see your brother that takes you back to when you guys talked about doing what you are doing?
Yeah, I mean, there are certain things that trigger your memory, coaching points that he's had throughout the history of some of these plays that we've run, I can remember, and brings back memories, and they're good, solid, valid points that you'd like to bring up to your team and pass them along to the next group of guys doing them. So it's always good to have him here. He's a great presence. Hopefully I'll get him to talk to the team a little bit tomorrow and, pick his brains some more here after practice, maybe play a little golf, all that.
Coach, obviously these practices are voluntary, but D'Angelo Hall didn't appear to be out there today. Is there a reason for that, or did he ask off for today?
Yeah, he got dinged up a little bit yesterday, but he's okay. He just went back to Atlanta for the night. He's a KG veteran, and he felt he wanted to be with his family today, so let him off. He's a little bit dinged up with his chin, hurt his chin a little bit yesterday, but he'll be okay.
We all know what Jason Hatcher is expected to bring to the defensive line, but how important is it for some of the young guys like Chris Baker and Jarvis Jenkins to contribute this year, especially in the pass rush?
Very much so. We expect big things out of Chris and Jarvis, and they're doing a much better job of getting off blocks and transitioning from a run type of front to a pass rush on the play actions. And everybody down there from, all those defensive tackles, linemen are doing a good job. Golston's doing a good job. They're all rushing the passer a lot better. They're still, maintaining their run gaps and playing good run defense also at their pad level, but transitioning from a run style stance to a pass rush isn't easy for a lot of people, but our guys are doing a good job. And Baker's going to be a major part of our nickel pass rush also, as is Jarvis Jenkins at some point. So the more the merrier as far as guys rushing, because you want to keep those guys fresh. With the no-huddle attacks the way they are, you're going to have different defensive linemen in there rotating and, playing at a high level, and all those guys can contribute.
Jay, did Barry Cofield get back a little bit sooner than you anticipated?
Back from – he's still not –
well, he's still not, but is he doing more work now, or is this about the pace?
That's the trainer's call. He's further along than I think he anticipated even, and I think the trainers, I think you're right. But we're still going to obviously modify what he's doing and make sure he, is full go before he's ready. He's chomping at the bit to get back out there, but we have to probably pull him back a little bit, make sure he's 100% ready for training camp.
Now, not full go until camp.
I would say not full go till camp, yes.
Jay, how do you feel about your safety position right now? You know you got Ryan Clark there and Merriweather, but just you got some young guys there, and just where do things stand there?
Yeah, I've been impressed with our safety position. There's some things that they're still working with, and Raheem's coaching them up on. There's some different techniques they're using, but Philip Thomas has done some good things. Obviously, he's a young kid. He was hurt last year, but he's doing some good things out there. And we've got a couple other safeties. Rambo's still continue to grow. He got some key playing time last year. I think he's learned from what happened last year, and he's hoping to build that experience into better play, a more stable play. So we have some safeties out here that can compete, but to have veteran leaders like Merriweather and Clark out there leading the way, it's good for these young guys to see, and then when they're in there, they can progress and learn from them.
What do you guys do with Rambo as far as just helping him improve? I mean, there were times he looked really good in practice, and then games started.
Yeah, that's going to happen for young guys. Certain guys handle things differently, but you don't expect a Pro Bowler by a rookie safety. It's just hard. There's very few and far between as far as that position goes. I mean, it's a difficult position. There's a lot of checks that happen, from formation checks to checks in the coverage and all that good stuff from the fronts, all that. So it's a very tough position to come in as a rookie or a young kid and play. It takes a year or 2 or 3 sometimes for those guys to pick up everything Coach Haslett wants them to do or Raheem wants them to do. And the more reps he gets in these OTA sessions and training camp and preseason, you build on the experience every week and every year, and it's going to make him a better player. But we have high hopes for him. He's got great ball skills. He's not afraid to tackle. He's got to do a better job tackling. Obviously, he missed too many tackles as a group last year, not just him, but everybody. So we think he's progressing nicely.
Jay, how do you see the punting battle shaping up between Klingon and Malone? And do you feel like you'll be able to find your punter for 2014 from those two guys, or we have to maybe keep looking around?
Well, we feel good where they are so far. You know, it's early. This is OTAs, but Coach Kotweek is working with them, and he feels confident we have our punter here on our roster right now. So, but preseason will tell. You know, you got game-type situations. You know, nerves get a little bit. It's easy to putt on the practice green. You know what I mean? Sometimes, but when you get on a real golf course, the 3-footers get a little bit tougher. We'll see how he does, but we feel really good. Malone is banging them, and both of them are banging. Malone's hit the roof in the bubble a couple times. You know, he's got a powerful leg, and Blake's done a nice job. So it'll be an interesting competition. But I do feel strongly that we will find our punter, one of those two guys.
Jay, was Deshaun able to do more this week than you had originally anticipated when we last spoke to you on Friday in Richmond? And what did you think of what he was able to do out there today? It seemed like Robert was really targeting him a lot in that second team.
He feels good running, you know, straight. He's just sometimes coming out of cuts a little bit. He's still a little bit tentative, and we're just watching him. But he looked good, obviously, and we hope that he could run this week. You know, that's what our hopes were. That's why we kept him out last week. It was a minor deal, we thought, and he thought. So once he got clearance from Larry and he felt good about it, he was out there running, and it's good to see him out there pushing a little bit for the team and everybody else. So, but he did a good job today, but he's still probably not 100%. He's probably, you know, working through a little bit of pain, just a little bit.
Any indication on whether Leonard Hankerson will be ready for camp?
None whatsoever. I said that last week about that injury. Is totally different. You know, different guys handle it, different positions. And the rehabs could be longer for certain guys, so we'll wait and see. But he's working very hard. I know that. He's in there with Larry every day, and they're working extremely hard to get right.
Then when you guys go to the no-huddle there in practice, what are you trying to get as far as rhythm goes, and how did you feel that went for Robert?
Oh, tempo, number one. We're trying to pick up the tempo also from a communication standpoint. You know, football is a lot about communication nowadays. A lot of teams are running a no-huddle. So from a defensive standpoint, you got to be able to communicate your calls, get in the right front, and talk about it, make sure everybody's on the same page. And offensively, it's a good way to dictate tempo and keep defenses maybe from substituting and keep them out of some of their blitz packages, all that good stuff. There's a reason for us offensively to utilize it, and there's not only from a attack per point of view on game day, but also getting our defense ready for that type of attack on Sundays. Obviously, Philadelphia, I'm reading everywhere that a lot of teams are doing more no huddle, so it's good for our defense to get to work.
Jay, small detail, but we noticed McVay was calling the plays today out on offense. Is this just something right now, or is this going to be happening throughout the season?
Oh, they're scripted. You know, we're scripted plays. It's just who reads them to him right now. But yesterday he called an unscripted period or two, and it's good work for him. And, you know, see where he's at and how comfortable he is calling plays. And there's going to come a point in time he's going to call some plays too. You know, we're both going to have input in the game, and Coach Förster jumped in there and called a play today. So we're going to have some input. We have guys that feel very strongly about this offense and know it very well. So the more input, the better. But ultimately, I'll be calling plays. But I'll obviously listen to a lot of input from those two guys.
How do you feel about and how Robert's doing as far as chemistry with his receivers? Are you happy with their timing and their coordination of the passing game?
I am very happy the way it's going. You know, we're not perfect, and I don't think anybody is right now. And there's been some, you know, maybe came out of the route too sharp or not sharp enough, or maybe a little bit short, maybe a little deep. But I think the more we watch it, the more we rep it, the more comfortable he's going to be of knowing where people are and at what depths and how they're coming out of their cuts. Because, you know, precision is very important, and accuracy, obviously, in any offense, but especially in the type of offense we're running. So when we want the ball out of his hands on time, then we need the receivers to be precise. And Ike Hillier's doing an outstanding job of getting that taught. And so far, it's progressing at a great pace. And I think our receivers are doing an excellent job of being in the right spot, and Robert's buying in and able to anticipate throws.
Jay, meant to ask you this last week, but how did the whole practice with the Patriots come about? Who initiated that, and what's the value for you?
Well, first I heard of it was I think Coach Belichick or might have called Paul Kelly or emailed Paul or Bruce, and then they asked if I'd be interested in it. And since I had some experience with it in Cincinnati with Atlanta, I thought it was a great experience for our players and our coaches for that matter. So I was open to the opportunity, and it's a great chance. You get into practice and you're going one a days and you're going through the walkthrough in the afternoon. You do that about 9 or 10 times, and it's like, this is a great way to change it up a little bit, go against somebody else, and see where you're at as far as personnel for your ones against their ones, twos against their twos, threes against their threes, and it might juggle a depth chart a little bit after that.
Did you feel like you learned a lot more than you anticipated when you went against Atlanta in that situation?
I think from a rep standpoint, I was able to get guys reps against other people that wasn't necessarily scripted. A lot of times you script these plays, and you kind of know what the defense is. You know what plays you're going to get, but these are unscripted plays, and it's able to see how the players react to different types of things. And one of the major issues in football is how players adjust. And if they can't adjust to different looks, then they're not going to be very effective. And it's a great opportunity for us to see how our players, both offensive line, how we pick up different stunts and different fronts, defensive line, different blocking schemes, obviously route combinations versus different coverages and different techniques in the secondary, and how people adjust and how our quarterback adjusts and how they see things. So it's good for everybody.
Looked like Spencer Long and Josh Laribas had flip-flop sides this week. Is that just more of trying to make those guys more versatile in evaluation?
That's exactly right. They have to play. On game day, usually dress 7, sometimes 8 linemen, but usually 7. So, your 6th guy has to play center guard. Your other guy has to play both tackle spots. So it's very important for guys to be, obviously, flexible in what they do.
How does Laribas look this year?
Laribas done good. He came in, his weight was down. He's in good shape. And he's made some improvements from what I saw last year. I don't have a lot of history with him, obviously, just what I've seen this year. But he does look a lot better this time of year this year than he did last year. So from what I hear, but he's doing well.
You've had some good words to say about Keenan Robinson's progress the last couple of weeks. He's not the most outgoing guy in the world, but he's asked to play a leadership position. I guess, how much vocal leadership do you need from that position? Can you get it from him?
As long as he's communicating the calls, that's important. And as long as he's playing hard and doing the right thing, that's leadership enough in a lot of cases. You don't have to be Ray Lewis type of leader to play middle linebacker and be successful. There's been linebackers who aren't quite that vocal that have been very successful. Keenan's just one of those guys. And then, I'm more about the play than I am about the talk anyway. As long as everybody knows what to do, let's go out and play hard, everybody, and the leaders will emerge eventually.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I might actually.